You've heard it a million times. Just be yourself. The most useless piece of advice you can ever receive. And why does it feel so completely useless and also invalidating? Like, hey, I'm single. What should I do? Just be yourself. Well, what do you think I've been doing all this time? It's not like I've been pretending to be someone else and that's why I couldn't find anyone. I've been being myself and I haven't found anyone. But why does everyone keep saying it and repeating it? And does it even work? In this video, I'm going to show you what it actually means that people don't tell you and how to do it. Hi, I'm Alex and I'm a dating anxiety coach for nerds. I help shy, introverted nerds find love the nerd way. Now, let's clarify first. Why does just be yourself feel so freaking frustrating? Well, on the one hand, it basically assumes that you have not been being yourself. Like, how else are you going to be if not yourself? I mean, unless you're trying some red pill pickup artist tactics that, sure, you're not supposed to be yourself. Apart from that, if you're trying to be genuine and you're like, okay, I'm going to be myself, it has not been working. So what you're telling me is that if the way to find a partner is just being myself, and I'm being myself and I'm not finding a partner, that means that there's something wrong with me. It also puts all the blame on you because, hey, it's just easy. There's only one tip. Just be yourself. If you do that, that's it. Oh, you've already been doing it? You must have been doing it wrong. And to make matters worse, it doesn't tell you what to do because basically you feel like you've already been doing it. Like, what are the steps to being myself? For most of my audience and the people that I work with, being myself means being shy, being anxious, being introverted, not having a social life, not meeting new people, not being able to ask someone out. That's being themselves. Sounds like a perfect recipe to find a partner. For example, let's say that I'm out with friends and then there's someone in the group that I'm attracted to. I'm being myself if I don't talk to them and I don't ask for their number and I don't try to initiate anything, any kind of interaction, and they ask me a question and I just give an answer. That's being myself. It got me nowhere. So, what do people really mean by just be yourself? I think that the idea of just being yourself comes from a very good place of people saying, hey, if you're trying to be someone that you're not, then you're going to find someone who's compatible with the mask, not with the real you. And that's something that happens very often with people in the pickup artists or red pill communities. It's they learn to behave in certain ways that, sure, they will attract some sort of people who are not really compatible with the person they really are. And in the end, they just can't take off the mask because if they take off the mask, then they're going to lose the person. So the advice of just be yourself is trying to keep you away from that. And it's saying, hey, show yourself to the world. That way you can find someone who actually likes who you are. Now, that also means that you should be confident in who you are and you should accept who you are. For example, I was talking to a woman recently who was saying how she met someone who was into Pokemon and lots of other nerdy stuff, but he felt so much shame around it that she didn't really want to go on a second date with him. And the fact is, she was a nerd. But this person was just like, yeah, like I like Pokemon and like I know that it's childish and blah, blah, and like looking down. That's not what people mean by being yourself. Different would have been like, yeah, I love Pokemon. What do you like? Period. Same with health stuff. Like, I have diabetes. When I first got diagnosed, I thought my dating life was over. But then I realized that as long as I don't make it an issue, it doesn't have to be an issue. And it's never been an issue so far. Like, every time I've been on a date, it's been like, yeah, I have diabetes, I can't eat these things, or I have to like plan with my insulin and whatnot. Fine, I take care of it. It's totally okay. As long as you don't feel shame about who you are, you don't apologize for it, then you should be fine. Now, there's a line between being comfortable with what you like and sharing it and mentioning it and info dumping. And if you're wondering what the difference is, I suggest you check out the episode Tolkien versus Star Wars, where Kaya shared how she managed her info dumping tendencies to end up with a partner who fully supports her obsession.
With stuff like info dumping, being someone with anxiety, you always have to test the waters on it. So it's like you might bring something up to where whenever they ask, like, oh, what are you into? Like, my first thing is always, Lord of the Rings, fantasy. I really love reading. I really like Tolkien. And like, her answer was Legos, Star Wars, stuff like that. So it wasn't like, immediately like, oh, did you know the Witch King of Angmar, XYZ?
Because the idea is not that you need to find someone who fully shares everything that you like and love, but someone who accepts you with that. But in the beginning of any relationship, you don't know how much they want to hear. So it's best to just mention what you like. And if the other person is not interested, you just move on to a different topic. So you can say, hey, I like Star Wars. What do you like? If they say, oh, I love Star Wars too. What's your favorite movie? Then you can say, oh, I like this one because whatever. What about yours? And that's the way that you may start digging into your favorite topic. But if you say, I like Star Wars, what do you like? And they say, I haven't really watched Star Wars, but I like this other thing. Then you just move on from Star Wars unless they ask. But at least you just put it out there. And I know that in the past, and maybe even in the present, some of us have been bullied for our likes, our hobbies, our interests. That's awful. So if you have people around you who are bullying you, my suggestion is set some boundaries, and sometimes that involves just breaking that connection. But if it's a new person, usually the bullying doesn't go from 0 to 100. It doesn't go from saying like, I like Pokemon, and someone being like, oh my God, that's childish. Oh, everyone, look at this nerd. That's not usually the case. Usually someone will say like, oh, that's so childish. To which you can respond, yeah, and I still love it. Or you can say, yeah, it's for my inner child, and just move on. Most of the time, when you do that, it doesn't escalate to any serious bullying. And a great example of this is an interview with Henry Cavill, where someone asked him what he's into, and he mentions Warhammer.
Let's talk about what you guys personally geek out about.
The easy answer is Warhammer 40,000.
A couple more women start laughing.
I have been into it since I was 10.
He's like, that's fine, that's my hobby. And then another interviewee, another guy, says, hey, what are you playing in Warhammer? And that's how they connected.
What's your army at the moment?
Custodes.
Yeah. I'm going Necrons next year.
Necrons? Okay, all right, cool.
Were you into...
Yes.
But he wasn't ashamed of it, even though everyone was laughing. And if you're thinking like, oh, those are celebrities, keep in mind that that interview was between peers. It wasn't like he was a celebrity talking to a fan. This was all an interview with peers, which is the exact same of you meeting some other person. So there's not really a difference in how you need to behave if you mention your hobby and people don't really share it or even laugh at it. Honestly, if you just either take it as a joke or move on, nothing will happen. And in fact, if someone makes real fun of you and makes you feel really uncomfortable, that's a great way to filter out people. And you may be saying like, hey, I already have no people liking me. Why would I want to have even fewer people than 0? I'm going to have negative people. Well, that's not really true. Because if you have been hiding your hobbies, it means that you haven't been giving bad signals to anyone around you about what you actually like, and you have not been giving them opportunities to actually get closer to you and like you. So don't give me that. You have not been giving anyone any signals about the stuff that you like. Therefore, they didn't have a chance to actually get to know you and tell you that they also share the same hobbies. Now, I know that what I'm proposing is really scary, but if you're looking for a long-term relationship, you're looking for compatibility. You want to find someone who's compatible with the real you, the one that you want to be 24/7. If you take all the red pill and pick up advice, what ends up happening is that, sure, you may end up meeting someone, but you have to keep the mask on all the time. That's really tiring, and at one point, you will revert back to your real self. And that's when things are going wrong. So if you want to have one-night stands, if you want to just have some fun, go do all the red pill stuff. That's not what I'm doing in this channel. But if you want to find a real relationship, my suggestion is learn to be comfortable being yourself. Now, so far, I've been mostly talking about what to do if someone doesn't really share the same hobbies with you. But what happens if you don't share the same hobbies with them? That actually happened to me like a month ago. I was at a dinner meeting mostly new people except for one guy that I knew. And at some point, everyone started talking about horror movies. And I was just quiet. That's just not my thing. I was just listening to a conversation, hearing everyone talk. And then someone from across the table looks at me and she's like, hey, Alex, you've been really quiet. What do you think about this? I just told them, I said, look, I don't watch horror movies because even though I don't get scared, then I have nightmares and I spend all night running away from zombies. So my rule is I don't watch horror movies, whether they make me scared or not, so I don't. So I didn't really talk trash about anyone's tastes. I just shared my vision of what they were talking about. What do you think the reaction was? One person made fun of me about me saying that I don't get scared. Fair enough. I just told them, look, that's what happens. I usually don't get scared, but I have nightmares. There's no way for me to prove it to you. You can think whatever you want. Another reaction was, yeah, that sometimes happens to me too. I sometimes get nightmares and it's awful. Someone else said, I sometimes get really scared and I don't really enjoy those movies. Another person asked me, so what's your go-to comfort movie? And then I got to talk about the movies that I actually enjoy, which in my case I mentioned Scott Pilgrim. Now the same person who made fun of me in the beginning said, hey, isn't that a children's movie? I was like, no, you can just Google it. So clearly this person had something against me, totally fine. I didn't really like that person anyways. And I'm not just saying that I didn't feel attracted. I just didn't really like hanging out with that person. So it was all fine. There were like 6, 7 more other people that I could talk to at that table. And yet, that same person later in the evening invited me to go to a different event with the rest of the group, even though I didn't think we had clicked. Whether she did it because I was there and everyone was going and she didn't want me to feel left out, or whatever the reason is, everything was fine, honestly. In fact, someone later asked if we had known each other for years because we seemed like friends. And I'm like, no, actually, like we've been pretty much clashing all night. But it's fine. I still got to meet lots of other people that I really liked and that I want to hang out more with. All of this is what I actually call being your true self. It's not just be yourself. Know what you like, know where you stand with the things that you like, with your values, and everything else about you and your life. And then don't be afraid to show it. And that goes for dating apps, for meeting someone organically, for making friends, and for pretty much every single area of your life. Because you want to attract people who like you for who you are and that you don't have to be pretending that you're someone else. Now, does this mean that you will get fewer matches and fewer people saying yes to a date or whatever it is? Yes, but it also means that the quality of the people around you will skyrocket.
We met on OkCupid.
But it was Mass Effect being in both of our profiles that connected us to each other, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was all the fandoms that showed up in there that sort of we connected over.
Yeah.
Now, instead of having everyone like a version of you that accommodates to them, which with everyone is going to be different, just choose the ones that actually want to be with someone like you. Now, if you want to take one small step towards being more your true self, leave a comment and share with us what's your one hobby that you're often ashamed about, but that you're going to start feeling proud of. Just one thing, one small step to help you become your true self. Take care and continue playing.